Welcome to Brain Wreck. I'm Jason X.
And I'm Kevin Graham.
And this is the best show on the internet.
It certainly is.
Feel that.
This is. Go ahead.
This is the hottest show. It's hotter than a 70-year-old man wearing mittens and a coat looking pissed.
I mean, I feel like it was kind of cold
everywhere
that day. So I feel like he was, unless you mean like hot. Unless you mean like hot.
I mean, we're hot.
I mean, I'm sure that's a thing somewhere. Somebody's into that.
Someone's into mittens.
Someone's into nice, warm socialism.
Ooh.
Just wraps you up in its coat. Brings
There
you
you
your
go.
mail.
Uh-huh.
Says, let me teach you how to save your money. It's like, okay.
I don't think that's what socialism is, sir.
Is it?
You're describing something different.
Is.
I
mean,
socialism for some, I guess. Anyway, folks.
Socialism's for all.
This is the best show on the internet. The only recipient of the Woody YouTube Award. The Woody Harrelson of podcasts.
Danny DeVito's of digital media, folks.
That's true.
We cover all the bases. We hit the home
Front
runs.
and back,
we score
side
the
to
touchdowns.
side.
We get the field goals.
Except for them, those Buffalo Bills.
And the Packers.
They
This is a rough.
Which, to be fair, hot take.
What?
Right here. Does anybody really want to see a Buffalo Bills versus Tom Brady Super Bowl? We all know the outcome.
I mean,
we've seen it every year. We see it every year.
I mean, the Bills have beaten Tom Brady pretty regularly in the past few years. So it, wouldn't have been that far of a stretch. I mean, you get a good game going. I mean, Tom Brady's Super Bowl prepared. Maybe the rest of the team isn't. You know? So,
this year, more than ever, is how you know the NFL's work.
Ooh. Give me your take.
First year, Tom Brady and Belichick are separate. Folks, I don't watch football. Don't ask me for stats or sources. I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff we're going to get into tonight that we know nothing about, but we're going to answer all your questions.
But we got a fucking opinion.
We got an opinion.
So anyway, so Tom Brady, Bill Belichick separate for the first time, and everyone wants to know who's the real workhorse. You know, is it the coach? Is it the player? Or does it not work if they're separated, kind of thing? So big questions coming in. Tom Brady shits the bed the first 2 weeks of the season. The Patriots, they also shit the bed, but they shit the bed pretty much the entire season.
Yeah.
However, tell me if this is not a work. Okay? The situation I just described. The drama behind that story in general. Okay. First season with Tom Brady is with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my future home team.
There you go.
And the Super Bowl this year
is in Tampa.
Tom Brady shits the bed in the beginning of the season. Oh, he ain't got no more. The goat's dead. Put him out to pasture right next to old Yeller. We're gonna shoot him dead. So, but he rises like a goddamn fucking phoenix from the ashes and gets to play in his first Super Bowl that's not with the Patriots in the home stadium of the team he fucking plays for. Folks, I'm a writer. This shit doesn't happen in real life.
You know, I feel like if that were the case, I've got a couple questions for the boys in Green Bay. Because there was some questionable decision making there in the end, which I was not fucking happy about.
I didn't watch that game, so
I watched that game. I thought that this was a sign from the heavens. Because I was like, oh fuck, I'm missing the Packers game because I don't have cable. And then I was checking online and I saw that they were doing pretty shitty, but they were still in it. So I was like, wait, let me load up the CBS app. Let me see if I can actually get the game. They gave me an hour trial to watch for free.
No shit. An
And
hour?
and it was the fourth quarter, so I'm like, this is fucking perfect. I'm like, this is a sign. I had my Rodgers jersey on. I was getting
Mm.
all hyped. I was in it.
Mm.
They
He
fucking
appreciates that, by the way.
they what?
Said he appreciates that, by the way.
Good. He fucking better, and he better not fucking go anywhere because I got two of them shits. And that's like the worst thing is when you finally buy a player's jersey and then they switch teams.
Brother, I was a Drew Bledsoe fan for years.
And they just kicked him out like a sad puppy dog.
And he finally made it, or was, at the end of his career enough where he could go to the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
So when he became a Buffalo Bill, which was my, inherited team, and it was my favorite player at the time. Again, folks, I don't watch football. I don't know the players' names or stats. However, he had a cool name because there's like blood in there and stuff. That's all you need as a kid.
Yeah.
So I got his fucking jersey, and then he lasted 2 seasons, and then he was like, "Deuces, I'm out." And it's like,
yeah,
what am I gonna do now?
But then
it's going to the Goodwill. It's going to the Goodwill because I can't. I gotta get Allen's jersey now. He's gonna get traded. Come on now.
But it was like I got in right at the fourth quarter. I was like an hour. I'm like, perfect. I got time for this. They snag an interception. I'm like, oh God, like this is it. And we were like down by 5.
Happen?
And I'm like, we're coming back. This is it. We're fucking Rodgers is gonna go yard at him. It's gonna be fucking glorious in Green Bay. I'm hyped. They go 3 and out on an interception. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Because like that eats up time,
right?
And then you're giving the ball back to Brady, and then they work their way into a field goal. I'm like, all right, we still got time. We can still do this. Rodgers, let's fucking do it. And then they they fucking get all the way down the field, and they can't convert on the goal line. Well, I think they were like, I forgot how many yards they had, but they were basically like in goal positioning.
They were in the red zone.
They were in the red zone. Yes. Look at you with your fucking terminology, Mister. I don't watch. Football.
Played for like for a year, got snubbed, and then never played it again.
I practiced for a week.
It's hard.
I was like, I don't want to do this for no other reason other than I wasn't really interested in the first place. And then it can't fucking get the ball in anybody's hand, breaks away from, just fucking can't fucking do it. And then they go for a field goal. And it's like, just go for the touchdown. Just go for the touchdown. Because we're like, oh, we'll get the ball back. I'm like, no, you won't. Because you're giving the ball back to fucking Brady.
Right.
And guess what? Never got that ball back.
How about that?
How about that? How about that?
How about that? So I'm not saying that there is an Illuminati. I'm not saying that the Knights Templar ain't real. What I'm saying is that the NFL is a work. It's sports entertainment. It should be on the Peacock with the other thing. And then everything's under one roof.
I mean, I don't know if that deal with the E and Peacock is really that surprising because I feel like we even talked about it on here a while back where you may have mentioned that they were trying to shop around like exclusivity for pay-per-views.
Yeah, they're trying to get Disney to buy it.
They were trying to get trying to get Disney to buy it?
Well, ESPN, which is owned by
Disney. ESPN, Disney. Okay, so that makes sense. But like going to Peacock, I mean, the first thing I was like, that's weird. And then I thought about it. I was like, no, that makes all the sense.
Yep. All
like,
the sense.
If they don't need to manage that anymore, that's going to reduce a lot of cost on their front, and also $1 billion over 5 years. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course.
Vince is like, fuck the lotto. I got me a network.
The only thing that I'm a little weary of. So the pricing structure to me seems legit. It seems pretty good because you can either go in for $5 a month with ads.
That's right.
Which it's like, I fucking hate that shit. If you pay, you shouldn't have to get ads, but whatever.
Thank you,
I
Hulu.
digress. And then they got the $9.99 version, which is like you get Peacock Premium plus additional XYZ, and you get like all of Peacock and all of WWE without any ads.
Right.
The other one is like you just get ads. So the price difference isn't really. I mean, it's not different from what people are paying now. If anything,
For the network.
yeah,
right.
yeah. If anything, they could get it at a reduced rate. And if you don't give a shit about the ads, then hey, you're saving. That's pulling money out of one pocket and putting it right in the other, as we say here on the show. But the thing I'm a little weary about is NBC going to maintain all of the content and keep it all available as is right now?
That's an interesting question.
Because the first thing I thought was they're probably going to pull a lot of stuff, like akin to ECW. Probably a lot of stuff from. My thought was they're going to want to focus on stuff from the last 10 years. They're going to want more of the current product.
That is
with like
possible,
with like the big pops from the golden era, and like maybe a few things sprinkled throughout,
like a best of,
like a kind of like a best of. Because the other thing was they said that they're going to do like once a year. There's going to be like a premium documentary, either like a movie or probably something to the effect of like what they did with Taker earlier last year, where they did that special.
Right.
Also, wait, and I just realized this too. I don't think they ever circled back to that Ruthless Aggression documentary series that they were doing.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Well, I had watched like the first run when it came out. I think it was like end of 2019, early 2020, and it was like 4 or 5 episodes. And then they were like, "We're gonna do the second half of the era in fall," and I don't think they ever did.
Well, I mean, that's like most of the storylines. They just drop them.
Yeah, they just drop them because fuck it.
Guess who cares?
Hit a motherfucker with a car or something. But like,
works out.
Yeah, it works. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the content starts going missing after a certain point in time. Like maybe they hold on to it for like that first couple of months just to give everybody that, ooh, awesome, like sort of feel. But then little by little, they're like, do we really want New Jack on Peacock?
Well, I think
Sabu?
that's part of the thing is eventually something's gonna happen where someone who's not a wrestling fan stumbles upon the wrestling thing, and they're gonna be like, "This is offensive." Oh.
Yeah.
So and then when that happens, yeah, you're gonna get a little bit more of the censorship. Yeah. Vince McMahon won't be calling somebody an N-word on national television anymore. Things of that nature will probably be scrubbed from the cock.
I think a lot of they're gonna be scrubbing a lot of stuff off the cock, I think.
Yeah, and honestly, it's for the better, probably.
I would understand it as a wrestling fan. I would not appreciate it. Just saying, it's my 2 cents.
And I would never get the WWE network on its own. Like, I'm the motherfucker that's making new Gmail emails for that free trial whenever I get the itch to watch something.
Yeah, like
I could pay for Peacock though.
See, I can understand that because it's kind of like I pay for Amazon Prime. Like on its own, like paying for Amazon Prime for shipping, to me, not really worth it. Paying for Amazon Prime for the digital content, really not worth it. Paying for Amazon Prime for both of those together, yeah, sure.
You don't think Amazon Prime's worth it for the shipping? Are you out of your fucking mind?
I don't buy enough frequently enough to where that would matter.
You don't get invited to enough parties.
I don't. Plus, anytime
when you need a fucking birthday gift in a day and a half,
okay,
and you can buy it on Amazon and with confidence and less scooters at the helm, get it within 2 days.
Well, hang on, because my method was always, if back before I had Prime, if I needed something and I didn't want to pay for shipping and I wanted like that 2-day, I would just buy enough stuff to break the seal of like, it was like $25 or $35.
Oh, on like Walmart or whatever?
No, on Amazon.
Oh, Amazon has a seal?
Yeah, it's like if you pay like for like 20, if you spend more than $25 on Amazon sponsored or affiliate products, it's free shipping.
I did not know that. I've been a Prime member for a very long time.
I've been I've been a Prime member probably for like the last 4 years, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I did do a lot of like the $25, and then you get free shipping and potentially 2-day shipping because what the fuck, it's all dirt cheap to them.
Right. I mean, and I never really took advantage of the Amazon Prime Video aspect of it until I found some hidden gems on there.
There are
like
some gems.
Like right now, they have 4 fucking seasons of MXC on Amazon Prime, and me and the wife love. At the end of the day, when you've worked your ass off, you're trying to get a fucking house ready for sale.
Mm-hmm.
You have a drink, you got a thing and a queso and chips ready to go, and you put on some MXC with what is it, Takashi's Castle,
Mm-hmm.
Voiced over by Americans. That's an evening. That's an evening.
That's a hell of a time, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about it too, I feel like we don't watch Netflix, Amazon Prime enough to where it's really even worth it to maintain those memberships. But if at all anything, I would go with Amazon Prime over Netflix.
As of right now, yes.
As of right now, yeah.
When Stranger Things comes out in a decade, again,
yeah,
you gotta reassess the situation. I mean, I like Netflix, A, because I don't pay for it, and B, because it's got the Twilight Zone.
That's right, you don't pay for it, you prick.
I don't pay for it. You're a good friend.
I pay for
it. But other than that, like, the kids don't even watch it. They're on the Disney Plus.
Right.
They
don't even watch Disney Plus
watching
that much.
We watch The Mandalorian.
We're watching WandaVision right now.
See, I gotta get on that. I hear things.
I would make a suggestion. Here's the thing, and I'll say this: I enjoy the show.
For context,
I enjoy the show. I would wait until at least half of the season is available.
Oh,
because here's the thing. That way you can choose to go at your own pace, or you can binge it. Because this is the show where number one, they're half-hour episodes.
Oh, so it's an easy watch.
It's snackable content.
Oh, fantastic! I got that chips and queso ready to go.
But it's a good mystery to where you'll want to watch the next episode pretty quickly.
Okay.
So because like we watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, fuck, that's it. We gotta wait a week. Like it was just enough. You know what I mean? It was like a real good tease. And then we got to the following week and we watched it. And then like there was only the 1 episode. I was like, fuck, now we gotta wait another week. I was totally cool with like, The Mandalorian.
Right.
And even The Boys, like going to that weekly episodic schedule. Because like the episodes were longer, there's a little bit more going on, the episodes were a little bit heavier, so like it was good to kind of have that Friday night date sort of thing,
right?
That dinner and a show date kind of thing. But with this, I'm like, fuck, I want to watch the whole thing because it's so short and it's like a really good mystery. And like after the last episode, we sat on the couch for maybe like an hour, just theorizing what the fuck was going on. Because there's a lot of shit going on that you don't necessarily need to look that far into it or like too deeply into it to like really understand it.
Okay.
But like the way my psycho brain works, which is the complete opposite of how Christie's works, is like she's like, I don't like having to sit there and like look too far into an episode to see what's going on and like just give me the information as is. And me, I'm like, ooh, what's that mean? Ooh, what's that mean? Ooh, what's that mean? I'm like, that's half the fun for me,
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
And a quality TV show will appease both audiences.
exactly. So yeah, I would
But
give
one
it maybe at least until next week to start it.
okay.
Yeah.
One thing you did mention was The Boys.
Mm.
Um, I haven't gone back for season 2 yet.
Oh, you haven't watched season 2?
No, because well, the wife and I watched season 1 and liked it. Like I read the
Mm-hmm.
first few comic books of it and it was a good story and then it kind of got weird. It went to a
Oh.
weird place and I was
Mm.
like this is a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But and then
There.
it kind of fell off my
Mm.
radar. But we haven't gone back to season 2 and the wife has brought it up like, "Hey, you want to watch The Boys? Hey, you want to watch The Boys?" And when it came out, like things were like really serious in this country. And like I feel like The Boys is heavy and I couldn't bring myself to get into the right mind state to watch the show. But I was
That's,
like, I need something light. I need
my
something
God.
bubblegum. I need something like fluff in my
That's
entertainment right now.
that's responsible.
I mean,
How
I
responsible
try.
of you with
I
your
try.
viewing habits.
So I put off The Boys. I put off The Boys. But now things listen, if we're going to be perfectly honestly folks, like I don't have to care anymore.
You don't have to.
Like I'm at the point now where I can relax a little bit, I
Right.
can take a step back and just be like, okay, now we can go back. We can go back and look at different things.
Yeah. I would say
Which
I would say now's a good time to start watching The Boys season 2.
season 2.
Yeah.
So we'll get on that. And which brings us to the main topic tonight
Wait.
that we're going to talk about
Yeah.
because you texted me this morning about a thing that was happening and I didn't know what was happening because like I said folks, it's new day. You don't have
Mhm.
to be glued to the news 24/7. It ain't
Mm-mm.
healthy.
Mm-mm.
Go smell the roses if you got them. I got snow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to leave.
I mean,
I swear to fucking Christ, I'm trying to leave.
and I don't
I'm
have a
trying
sense
to
of
get
smell.
out of this
So
fucking house. Anyway,
the
tell them
stock
about the
market.
news.
The stock market. Have you been following the stock
Stocks.
market? Stocks.
No.
Let me tell you something. I have been tirelessly following the stock market for about 12 hours now.
And
I am an expert. Ask me anything. Go.
how does it work?
It's a fucking conspiracy. It's a criminal operation. They should all be thrown in jail.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure, like, the stock market is essentially a corporate version of running the numbers of the lotto, of
It's
gambling.
it's oh, I learned about shortening stocks today.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking scam. It's a straight up like you are literally gambling with stocks. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, it makes no sense. And I do appreciate. So the entire basis of this conversation sparked from the meteoric rise of GameStop stocks.
Yes.
Say that 10 times fast.
So tell the people what happened with GameStop because I don't even really fucking understand.
And here's the thing, I still don't fully understand like exactly when and where this started. So I actually began to hear rumblings about it. I want to say like a week or two. Maybe it was just like a week ago. And I think I made a comment to Christy because I thought it was so absurd. And I was like, apparently people are like buying a bunch of stock in GameStop right now to try to jack up the price. And she just kind of like rolled her eyes and walked away. And I was like, that's kind of my feeling too.
Right.
Come to find out that it has gone up like hundreds of dollars in value over the past few days. And I guess what happened was, and Christy actually informed me of this earlier, where I think it was last week they announced some corporate changes. So I want to say it may have been like new leadership, new operations, that sort of thing. And I believe, if I recall correctly, that when stuff like that happens, a lot of times if a company has stock, the stock will see a slight increase, just kind of organically. And it was seeing an organic growth over time. But there's a subreddit called Wall Street Bets.
Okay.
And somebody on the subreddit was just like putting everything into GameStop. And the value started to increase. And so other people were like, fuck it, let's put money into GameStop. And it went from, so at the beginning of the month, it was like $19, $20 a share.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, it's actually down as of
Well,
right
the high
now.
today. What was
the high today? Was almost almost 380. It was like, I think it started the day off at 377, somewhere in there. Like it kind of like tracked lower for a few minutes, and then it like shot up because a bunch of people were buying it again, and then it's been fluctuating between like 360 and like 280 throughout the entire
Why
day.
would you buy a stock if it's high? I don't understand that concept.
Okay,
I'm
going to try to explain. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm basing all of this on like the reference point that was given to me of like Trading Places, The Wolf of Wall Street, and The Big Short. And
I've seen 2 of those movies, so let's
good for you. Yeah, and we're actually going to go back and like rewatch all of those to try to see if they make any more sense. Fun day night.
You're just gonna fast forward all those scenes of them fucking in The Wolf of Wall Street, right? And then just get to the stock part. That's the hot part. That's the
there are stocks in that movie too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're like fuck Steve Madden over some shit.
No, that was like a whole. I mean, Steve Madden was actually supposed to be like their only legitimate stock offering, and it was. I think the IPO itself just bombed. Like it was nobody gave a shit. Nobody wanted it. But I mean, like the idea of my understanding is like you don't necessarily just buy when it's high. You buy when it's on the rise. Because the assumption is that it's going to continue to
buy
grow
low,
value.
Sell high.
The idea is you want to buy low and sell high.
If anyone on the chat wants to correct me on that.
But the thing is that you want to be careful about selling high because if everybody starts to sell, then the value decreases.
But you already sold, so who gives a fuck?
It's kind of a fucking, essentially like if you're the first one to sell, then hey, you're riding fucking easy street. But
I would be the first one to sell, brother. Let me tell you,
the moment it doubled in value, I'm like, sell it.
I'm out.
Just get rid of it. What I get $50. It was a good day.
Let's go get a pizza.
Let's go get a fucking. Oh yeah, you can buy pizza and beer with that.
Yep.
That's how we need to do the stock market. As long as we can make pizza and beer money, the world is happy.
Can I tell you, I've been craving some chicken wings lately.
I have been dying for some pizza.
Oh yeah, you ain't got pizza there, huh?
We don't really have good pizza here, but
maybe a Mexican pizza.
Yeah,
but
it's not real pizza. And I also just kind of like changed my diet up, so like I'm cutting a lot of stuff out right now.
So you can eat pizza? Oh, okay.
No, not so I can eat pizza. Although that like one day, that will be the game plan. But anyways, So a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people have been buying and holding.
Okay.
And the reason for this is because they're trying to squeeze out all the hedge funds that are trying to short the GameStop stocks. Because I learned all about that too. So there was a hedge fund that lost over, I don't know if it was only one or if it was like the collection of them. But hedge funds essentially lost $5 billion. Over the past few weeks.
Explain a hedge fund.
Okay, again, maybe not the guy to do this, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Basically, like they manage the stocks, and with like shortening stocks, what they're doing is And so this is the part that blew my fucking mind.
Okay.
They're gambling on the stock market. So what happened, I guess, was like a year ago, a hedge fund bought up a bunch of stock for GameStop when it was like dirt cheap, like under $50. And the idea is that like they buy up all the stock and they make a bet with somebody and they say, at this date in this time, I will sell you this stock at this price. So if I'm a hedge fund, I can go to you and I can say like, hey, I've got 1,000 shares of GameStop.
Okay.
I will sell it to you for $10 a share.
Okay.
And then if you're like, okay, yeah, the president was invited to Lordstown Motors tonight. I mean,
dope.
Cool. So, and basically, like, the idea is if the stock is less than that,
yeah,
then like that's where they're making their money. But the problem is if the stock is more, so they say like, I'll sell you this stock at this time and date for $10 a share.
Right.
Because I believe that's what it's going to be. And they want it to be lower than that.
Well, obviously.
But they're selling stock that's valued at $350 a share.
At $10 a share.
At $10 a share. No, not at $10 a share. They have to sell it to them. Wait, Christy, correct me if I'm wrong, but they got to sell it to them at the $350 level, correct?
Person over there who can't be named, tell him if he's wrong.
So basically, like they have to pay them out. So like they buy it all at like $50 or whatever, and then they have to pay out at the higher value.
Oh, so they have to pay out.
They have to pay out at the higher value. Yeah,
like so they like paid $50, but then they got to pay out at like $350.
Something
essentially.
Like that. Yeah, I did not explain that properly at all.
That's how I understood it, and that's how I'm gonna know it from now on. So I hope that's accurate.
When I said it back to her earlier today, it was on point because she had like I basically just repeated what she had told me. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So basically, a bunch of hedge funds lost their fucking asses.
So what's the benefit of fucking those people over just to fuck them over?
Fuck them over because they're gambling with the stock market, and a lot of times it's just fucking sleazy people trying to just work the system.
So I guess one of the people who is the sleazy motherfuckers you're talking about is the brand new owner of the New York Mets.
Oh, really?
Yes, I guess he is part of some type of hedge fund, and so apparently he lost somewhere around the neighborhood of $2 billion.
That sounds right.
Through the GameStop situation. So as more of a baseball fan than a football fan, but trust me, again, I don't follow this shit, so don't ask me for stats or sources or anything. The Mets for the first time have a brand new owner in God knows how long.
And didn't they just fire their GM?
Not only that, but they've been putting like real money into the team for the first time in forever.
Oof.
So like there was like all the Mets fans were like, oh my God, this is great. We're getting so-and-so and so-and-so, and we're going to have a season. We're going to have a shot at a title. And then the new owner loses $2 billion and is probably going to have to cut some costs with the Mets, which is just the most Metiest Met thing to happen to the Mets. It's perfect. Okay. So they buy.
She said they buy at $350. Sell it at $50, right? Lose. Yeah, because yes, okay, yep. Sell at $50, they lose $300 a share, and that's the hedge fund. So the hedge fund loses the $300 a share,
and they have shares aplenty.
Shares aplenty, and now we did that exchange just 1-to-1.
Yes.
Now imagine that 1 to 1,000 people that they made that bet with.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where it's like, oh shit.
Oh.
So that's times 300 by however many people they made that bet with. And that's how you get to $5 billion pretty fucking quickly.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
there's
not good.
And the fucking wild part about it that I've kind of been following is all of these financial people, all these professionals, all these experts, all these analysts are running to TV and Twitter to be like, this isn't fair, this isn't right, this breaks the fundamentals of stock trading and the stock market, and this shouldn't be happening. And not in one single place does it say that this shouldn't actually occur.
Not only that, but like, these are the same motherfuckers that when the pandemic hit and all the people lost their jobs were like, you should have been invested.
Should have been invested.
You should have been invested. You should have had your savings. You should have been invested.
And
then as soon as it gets flipped on them,
no.
As soon as it turns around.
One above that, these are the motherfuckers that tanked the housing industry back in 2008.
I mean, that's fair too.
You know, and it's just, it's funny to see all these people crying and complaining about it. And it's like, listen, you got fucking taken by a bunch of shitheads on a Reddit forum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should, like, there's nothing in the system that says that this can't occur. Like, the one thing that I have learned is that you can't expect people to act rationally. Like, you can't expect people to like follow a system like this. Like, they're gonna do what they want to do. If a bunch of fucking shitheads want to jack up the price of GameStop and then want to go, hey, you know what we're gonna do next? AMC. Guess what? They're gonna do it, and there's nothing preventing them from doing that. And the only way to prevent them from doing that is to make the market not a free and fair market.
Correct.
And then,
don't hate the player, hate the game.
Hate the game. Hate the game that they fucking created.
Correct.
You know? So, yeah.
So how do I get money?
You don't? I think now it's this isn't fair.
Well, like, if they can just do it, like, if they've all figured it out, right? Mm-hmm. So they've all figured it out.
Right.
Why don't they just do it again and do it again and do it again?
Well, they
can.
Do
it again.
They could, but like, again, the new way of thinking is that this is the way the stock market now operates. But again, you cannot expect people to act rationally.
True.
So the new rationale is now thrown out the window. The guy, though, that started this all, Deep Fucking Value, is this, which, like, that's been the other great thing about this, is like all of like MSNBC and like all these financial financial like media people, like, basically pulling quotes from Reddit and like Twitter users with like the stupidest fucking user handles. Like, and it's like, but it's like, yeah, like that's kind of what's going on.
Come on my ball 69.
Come on my ball 69. It's like, yeah, man, I just made 10 grand in the last 50 minutes. But no, the guy that started it all, his stock is now valued at $50 million.
That's insane.
Within a month. Like,
that's insane.
But here's the thing, like, a lot of people who have been buying into the stock, like, they're all saying hold, because again, once you start selling is when the stock starts losing value.
Right.
And I think the fear right now is because you've had so many people who have purchased over the last few days, they've all been buying at that higher value, that if the stock dips, like, they're going to lose their money fast.
Oh, well, yeah. First off, you're investing in GameStop. You should know once you purchase something, you're going to get half the value.
You're going to get less than half of the value with that. Yeah. Which to me is the most ironic part about all of this.
It's poetic.
When thousands of people get a fraction of what they spent on this back. Like, listen, I appreciate...
Only at GameStop.
Only at GameStop. Power to the players, folks. But, like, that I think is the concern, because, like, just watching the fluctuations that have occurred today, like a lot of people are like, just hold the stock. Like, don't go jump into other stuff. Don't go pulling out and putting into other things. if you're new to this coming in, personally, I feel like it's going to be tricky to get into the GameStop market unless you already have a ton of money you can throw at it. Because you got to figure, like, you know, you could double your money, but, like, do you really want to go through all that hassle to make $300? Like, is that worth it in itself?
It's got to be extremely hard for the guy who's got 50 mil to not pull the 50 mil and be done.
He says he's holding.
You know?
He said he's holding, which, again, you expect people to act rationally. Like,
I pull the 50 mil.
Everybody's a wild card. You're gonna get one pickle and a batch of cucumbers, and it's gonna be fucking hell. The floodgates are gonna open, and a bomb is just gonna go off. And I feel like part of me is like, this is really crazy and fun to watch because you're seeing so many slimy, greedy financial professionals right now squirming, which is great. But again, when the mob gets antsy and somebody gets itchy, you pull one you pull one log out of the tower and the whole Lincoln Castle comes down. Like, it's yeah. But the trend right now is that everybody's holding. If you're new to it, getting into it's going to be tough unless you already have a lot of money you can invest, because again, your return is going to be very minimal, I feel. Like,
so let me ask you this. So the people who have the stock, right? Say it dips. But and maybe this is a question for someone in the chat to answer, because I don't know the answer to this. So say it's $3.50 a share, right? And you've got your money and you've got your 50 mil, whatever the fuck, and it dips down to like 200 a share because people started selling. You know, all the noobs came in, they made their $50, they're going to get their pizza, they sell the shit. Would it be behoove of you to try to convince more people to buy the stock so that it goes back up for you then to cash out?
Yeah, I mean, that would be the benefit, is to get people to start buying the stock, because one of the things that was explained to me today too was, like, as long as there's a balance of people buying and people selling, you know,
right?
Like, then
that's
then
the
you
thing.
should be okay.
So there could be a round 2 of this thing if it tanks fast and people are holding. There could be a round 2 to get in on it for it to go on the climb. Listen, if you're late to the dance, okay, you know, sometimes you miss the buffet,
which is unfortunate.
But which is horrible.
Yeah.
But let's perfectly be honest, you might have missed the buffet, but like, you get there and you're like, oh fuck, everybody got the fucking tuna noodle casserole. They got the baked ziti and the fucking meatballs. Paid all this money. I'm in this tux. What the fuck? But then they open up the dessert buffet. And you're like, this is why I'm here.
You get them sweets.
This is why I'm here. You know, I won't leave full. I'll probably get sick, but at least I'm walking away with something.
I think that I think there is a potential for that.
If that's how it works.
If that's how it works. What I've been looking at, because right now there have been a lot of other companies whose stocks have been seeing significant growth over the last few days.
Right.
Because, like, you've also seen it with AMC, which a lot of people have been buying. I mean, like it's still under, I think AMC is still under like $20 a share.
Yeah, it's under 20.
Yeah, which is kind of bounced around there throughout the day. Yeah, it's at like $14 right now. And then, something went wrong. Sorry, my webpage went down. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's still under 20. That's at 14. There have been, so like Naked Brand, that went from like 30 cents this morning to it's now at $2.21.
Ooh.
So again, like when you look at the value, like, oh well, that's like dirt cheap still. But like, again, if it goes up to $3.50, if you bought it at 35 cents. And maybe it manages to break up to over $10. Like, if you've bought thousands of shares at 30 cents, you're now getting paid out at $10 a share.
Right.
So you can make some value there. I mean, I've never see. This is kind of funny. Like, I feel like over the last few years, the stuff that was going on made me go, you know what? I should probably be into politics. Like, at least follow what's going on and whatnot.
Right.
Now I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should at least follow the stock market and at least understand how it works. Like, at the very least, learn something.
Well, I kind of got a little bit into it at the beginning of the pandemic, and I think a lot of people did too, just because of how.
What the fuck else were you gonna do?
What the fuck else were you gonna do? Things were uncertain. We kept hearing that the stock market is still doing well. That was before things got shut down, kind of thing. So I think people, when they were finally forced to stay home, were like, "Hey, I listen to podcasts. I like Joseph Rogan.
Everybody's hearing about Robinhood."
And everyone's hearing about Robinhood, and god damn it, I get a stock for free. So that's something.
Imagine if that stock was GameStop.
Just imagine. You'd have $350 free right now.
Yeah, I mean, which, hey, it's
you could get half of a PlayStation 5.
That's still the best part about that.
Right. Yes.
It's like, I mean, yeah.
So anyway, so when the pandemic hit, I started looking in, and I had texted a certain person who knows a thing or two about a thing or two, and was like, "Hey, how do stocks work?" And she was like, "I can't tell you that over a text message." And I'm like, "What should I do?" And she says, "Have you ever invested before?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Don't."
I'm gonna get real with you.
Okay.
I've been asking her how stocks work for like the last 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I really don't know still. I still don't know.
I don't get it.
It's made up money. It's money that doesn't exist. It's money that's just out there. Like, and again, you at the end of the day, regardless of how much money your stock is worth, you still have to get somebody to buy it. In the right situation, where I feel like, most times it is, you'll be able to get somebody to buy it. But like, that guy's stock might be valued at $50 million. He doesn't actually have $50 million
until he sells it.
Until he gets somebody to buy it. See, I don't even look at it as like, oh, you're selling stock. No, you're trying to get somebody to buy stock. That's what it is. That's how I look at it, at least.
I mean, and who knows if that's correct? I don't know.
I mean, I say I'm not incorrect.
But there was a time when investing in one of these pharmacy companies that were trying to develop a vaccine was a very popular.
Oh, that was blowing the fuck up.
That was blowing the fuck up, and that's kind of like when I started looking in. And there's other medical things that you can invest in, certain products that may become legalized at some point.
I was just gonna say, I think cannabis might be the way to go.
It's nowhere to go but up.
Nowhere to go.
So
could be legal soon.
It certainly could be. I mean, Joe's a cool guy. I don't know.
Yeah, he seems all right.
Just relaxed a little bit, for God's sakes. It's a lot on social media. But
you don't really see much of, or you don't really see too many people retweeting him or yelling at him on social, do you?
No, but like I mean, he ain't running his Twitter. Let's be honest.
No.
Like
he's got more
he
important things to do.
He's got a rotary phone in the office. I'm pretty sure, right next to his thing of Ben Franklin or whatever the fuck. Wasn't a president, but he's in the Oval Office. I don't get it. But and why is he on the money? Does anyone know why Ben Frank's on the money?
Because like he was a founder.
I guess, but like.
I think they should have multiple people on the money, like
diverse money.
Because like they're trying to put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, I think.
Right.
And everybody's like,
who's on there now?
Who's on there? Who's on the $20 now? Andrew Jackson.
Who's on the 20? What do you do?
I think he got shot.
Was he the duel guy?
He might have been the duel guy. I'm pretty sure this is fucking
was he
terrible.
Killed in the
that
duel?
I don't know this off the top of my head. But I think he may have been. Was he the? Didn't he get impeached? Or who am I thinking of?
Chris, see what's the math on Jackson?
Some math on Jackson.
Did he touch some kids? I don't know.
I don't know what he did. Life and death is serving 2 terms. Van Buren. No, he died from being sick. Who the fuck am I thinking of?
There was somebody that was shot.
And there was somebody that was impeached.
Well, that was Nixon.
And that was, I mean, few people got impeached. I mean, Nixon, Trump, Clinton.
For a blowy.
For a blowy.
Like,
I mean, anyways.
What are we doing?
But no, I think don't have multiple versions of like the dollar bill, where like Washington's on one. You know, put like Babe Ruth on the dollar bill too.
Oh, please.
Like
that's what they used to do with the Disney dollars back in the day. Like when you went to Disney, you could get Disney dollars, kind of like the Jeffrey dollars.
Yeah, okay.
But there was different, like you could give different characters on the money, and that upped the collector's value of it. Like, maybe they do like a limited edition, like the limited edition George Washington's where he's not wearing the wig. You know, the variant dollars.
Variant dollar. But yeah, no, but you take every bill, you give every bill like 3 to 4 or like we'll say like 2 to 3, you know, because fucking, you know, they probably got to pull a lot of that back in. But like 2 to 3 versions where it's just like, you know, every bill is different. Like, what do you got today? I got a fucking Washington and a Ruth. What do you want?
Is it going to be kind of like the Barbie?
The Barbie?
Where they make like a series in the Barbie, right? So they make like Super Bitch Beach Barbie or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
And then they have the one Barbie doll, but then they have like 7 different variants of the doll. So you can choose which Barbie is Barbie.
Sure, we can do that too.
Yeah, so like, you know, you got like your $1 bill, you can either have George Washington, you can have Martin Luther King, or you can have Andrew Yang, you know? It works out.
going straight to the Yang.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's represented.
I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. It's probably someone else you could pick too, but you know, whatever.
I was gonna be mayor, right?
I don't know. He kind of shit talked New York not too long ago.
Well,
I think they asked.
So does everyone in New York. But
here's the thing: it was context, and if there's one thing we know from the show, it's context is king or queen, depending on, you know, your perspective. But it's fucking, because I guess they asked him like what his like. I think they straight up asked him if he actually lives in New York, and he was like, living in New York during a pandemic when I got to homeschool my kids. Are you kidding me? And
they were
like, I mean,
it's a fair.
Listen, I've been to New York. I love New York. It's a fair statement.
It's a fair statement. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. For the love of God. I just fucking caulked a tub. Last night. I'm about to paint some steps tonight. We're getting there, fella.
Good for you, man. We're getting there. I just got some of my financial information back, so we're gonna go and actually meet with a person about trying to get some pre-qualifications, some pre-loans. Don't go to Chase. Okay, you've heard it here first, folks. Maybe gonna see if what kind of money we can get and what we could maybe look into moving here.
Got a good credit score?
Yeah. I just paid off the credit card.
Oh, well, that's good.
Which, like, here's the thing.
And that's bullshit, too.
You want to talk about some fucking bullshit? Like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you've got open credit, they're like, you've got debt. I'm like, okay, well, I just paid off my credit card. And they're like, well, you just paid off your credit card, and it's a closed account, and so your credit age is actually not that good anymore, so you got to get more credit. And I'm like, what?
You need to keep like $10.
I've got I still have my first credit card that I ever got. Like, I think it's like, I actually do think it's like 10 years old. It's like between 7 and 10 years old. But like, talk about a fuck. You want, like, you know what? The fuck the stock markets. Let's do that to the creditors.
Let's fight club them motherfuckers.
Fight club the motherfuckers. We want our own basement. Fucking Lou told us we could use it. We're going to use it.
Here's the thing about Fight Club.
Oh, this is great.
Did none of those other motherfuckers see him fighting himself?
Dude, it was a cult.
I mean, I get that.
Yeah, like they show you.
They would have
other
stormed the
people's
Capitol. I get it.
They
but
would
like
fucking they would have.
I mean, they blew up credit card companies. But like, you see the guy fighting himself,
Right?
And like, if it's me, if I walk out of a bar and I see a guy fighting himself, I'm like, he needs help.
He needs help. I mean,
he needs to see.
He tried to get help, and they blew. He tried to get help, and the healthcare system blew him off.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. That doctor's an asshole.
That doctor was an asshole. You know? Then the cops didn't want to listen to him.
That's true.
And then the cops tried to kill him.
How do you know about soap?
What?
With the lie.
I read that as that was part of his insomnia when he was like blacking out, and I assumed he was just watching like Discovery Channel shows about making soap. Kind of like how it's made, like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely watch.
He was just like,
that's quality programming.
Yeah, it was him as Tyler Durden watching how soap's made.
So, folks, if you got any ideas of how the stocks work,
we know how the stocks work.
Nightclub,
we figured it out.
If you want to tell us about your experience during the pandemic and how you feel like, if you like the Robin Hood service, not a sponsor, let us know across all social media at Brainwreck Show.
Brainwreck Show across the board. Tomorrow night, Thursday, we've got a very special episode of Rule Number 4. Don't be an asshole.
It's very special.
It is the internet's favorite game show, the #1 game show on the web. We bring in Blakely. We bring in Christy. Christy has compiled, dude. We got to talk about this fucking master list she just compiled.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's a wide asshole, man. It's huge.
Oh my gosh!
But we go through Reddit. We gather some stories about people trying to figure out whether or not they're an asshole, and then we kind of judge the shit out of them, and then, you know, we learn a little bit more about their lives and stuff, and then we make some other judgment calls, and we actually do learn a lot about ourselves. If at all anything, it's a show where we learn a little bit about ourselves and a lot about other people. But if you're in the room watching, if you're in the chat watching, participate, because unlike this show on Rule Number 4, Don't Be an Asshole, that is a show where we take on audience questions, comments, feedback, and you become part of the show. So
it's true.
Definitely participate if you're watching, and be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Ring the bell so you get the notifications, and follow us on Twitter. That'd be the best place to get the info on when we're going to be going live. And a big announcement tomorrow night. Big announcement.
Huge announcement. Almost as big as the assholes. So be sure to tune in.
Almost as big as the assholes we're going to be learning about. So, yeah.
That is true. For this week on the best show of the internet, I've been Jason X.
I'm Kevin Graham.
And this has been your show.
Peace.